their communications. This is going to be fun matches overall.
Definitely. And, as a Reinhardt main myself, I know we just love to charge in. And I think that's going to be a little difficult when you're playing against these teams here because, they're playing at such a high level that they're just prone to know that you're going to charge in, and they're going to be like classic Ryan.
Oh, yeah, and especially, I don't know if you've been updated, but there are going to be Reinhardt nerfs coming in, so we'll be surprised to see if how many of the tanks are willing to step up for him despite the armor nerf.
You never know what's going to happen, but I still plan on playing Ryan, even with the nerfs. I might die a little more quicker than usually, but that is okay. And it looks like we are getting closer to the match. 3, 2, 1, and we are off to the races. As we look right now, the teleportation goes out really quick. Fullerton trying to get that advantage before UCI gets on point. The monkey is now on point, and it looks like they're just going to go at it. UCI, oh no, they're detected.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm looking at some of the picks to see how everything's going, and I've no surprise that Winston comes in as an alternative. Winston, very good gameplay base, decent damage, decent tank. Obviously, has a very scary ultimate that comes in. So I'm very much glad with that. We also see the Kiriko come in, who's still probably one of the best supports overall. Not to mention, she has that invulnerability ability. That comes in, and her ultimate gives a ton of extra base damage. So I'm looking to see how UCI kind of works with this comp. No slouch here on the Fullerton. We are seeing some some decent picks coming in. It looks like, I believe that's a Diva coming in on the blue side.
Sombra is looking to be lurking around the match, and it looks like we are paused.
But honestly, this gives us a little time to analyze more on their picks. This is one thing is we did see a no Reinhardts coming in, so that means no bonus shield. Nope. We did see a Sombra, which means that hacks are going to be aplenty. So is this probably going to be, I've never seen one that gets more irritating than Sombra main, especially if she hacks the right player. So it's going to be a very interesting connection here that the Sombra main comes in. I didn't see which player it was. We'll definitely get that back up there to see who is taking over, but obviously whoever it is on the DPS is going to be very annoying and going to be one that you got to keep an eye on.
Definitely. And the thing about a really good Sombra player is you're never going to see it coming. Of course, because we're camouflage, but just the precision to hack somebody and just cloak yourself and then just teleport
it's
back.
So frustrating.
It's really
so frustrating. I'm not even that much of an Overwatch player, but every single time I see a Sombra, I always go, someone needs to take over for shielding and healing. Like, we need it desperately. And of course, no one wants to play support ever.
That's true.
Like, that's a definition of all solo queue.
And I'd also say it messes with your mind game. Why? Because when I play with my friends, right, and these people, they play really well at a high level as well. So when we play, we have an enemy Sombra. They always blame me as DPS. They're gonna be blaming their DPS. Like, someone take care of that Sombra. But what they don't know is the Sombra on the other side just has so many hours on that character that he's just developed the rhythm.
They're just so fast.
Yeah.
They are so fast. And that's the scary part, is she's someone who can get in, do her job, throw a hack in, get some damage, and then pull back out thanks to her teleporter.
That is true.
It's so frustrating to go into her. And I think UCI did make an amazing pick because she is super strong right now. And the same with the Kiriko pick. Kiriko is still one of the best supports in the land, despite her updates and recent patches this season. Having that buff that coming in, as well as the movement speed, as well as the invulnerability, is very scary here, going to be coming in for Fullerton. I would like to see some more Fullerton's picks to kind of get a comparison. I do believe I did see a Diva who is very good with the defensive matrix and, of course, her explosion. But in comparison, it seems like UCI is in a good spot as far as damage goes.
And I believe I saw a Lucio on UCI's team composition. Oh no! And it looks like they're gonna be re-choosing their champion.
We got to reset. Oh, big step. So we're gonna see if they're gonna stick with the same picks, or if we're going to switch it up a little bit after kind of getting an initial eye. We are on Conquer at the moment, so like as far as this, whoever gets there first is going to be in a really good position for defense. So let's see if these teams set up pretty well. And it looks like everybody's sticking with pretty much the same picks at the moment. I'm not seeing any major changes. I do see now two Sombras coming in, so both sides are going to be ready for the hacks. And actually a Tracer. We'll see if that sticks for the long run.
And they just switched to Junker Queen too right now.
Okay, so yeah, seeing some decent changes. Those are just they're just trolling a little bit, keeping us viewers on pace there. So yeah.
And again with the teleport, they're trying to gain that small advantage of getting there early, so they could set up and they could just, maintain possession of the map. As we look right now, the hacks are coming in early, but see what do I mean? The teleportation. If you know how to play Sombra right, you can just leave, get in, and get out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and they're playing it right now. They're just they're staying mobile. Fullerton, this is Fullerton on the blue side. They're staying mobile, making sure they can just get their kicks in. They don't have a lot of major tankage. Brigitte, while very much a big point of a rally, isn't exactly as strong as Reinhardt is. So you're just hoping she's getting in, helping keep her team mobile. Does look like Jazz just fell, so they're going to try to recover here to gain back on that conquer point.
And it looks like the Hog is going to go down, but then also the tank for Fullerton right now. Everyone's getting hacked. Hacks here, hacks there, hacks everywhere. But UCI is still maintaining possession of the point. Fullerton, oh my goodness. Hey,
Sai with the kills.
What a save there for the Ana.
Yeah, a big save there. Sai was ready to just go on to full kill mode. I was very impressed with how he was able to get to that backline very quickly, but very strong response there by Squid to get him asleep.
And then it looks like Fullerton's Winston is hacked as well. And the thing is, when you're hacked as a Winston, you can't even just jump away. And that puts you in a hard position with you and your team, especially with this very dominant UCI Esports team.
Yeah, Winston is a very strong pick, but one of his biggest weaknesses is mobility. So if you remove any chances of him getting an escape or any type of his shields, he's pretty much just a walking little tank.
And again with the ult here, and it looks like they're going to be taken down by the Hog. And again, Fullerton unable to get on point. UCI playing up even more, which puts them in a very difficult... Oh my goodness, the EMP ult right there. But as I was saying, it's putting them in a very difficult position for them to push up. And it looks like...
Yeah, Safrona and Otters have been just doing it very well of helping them keep that point, keeping the team healed up. And Romani playing on the Roadhog. Roadhog, while maybe not the best ideal for solo queue on teams, is very scary just because he can get that pick off with that hook. While his damage may have been nerfed a little bit, he is still very scary up close. So good on UCI kind of getting this 99% setup. But right now we see Fullerton taking control of the point, so it's now their chance to catch on up here.
Wow, all that damage done by UCI's very own CYY. Holy cow, I've never seen such a Tracer do that incredible damage and save for the beginning of this matchup.
Yeah, it was a pretty big, pretty easy one-sided matchup there for UCI. UCI just got there a lot faster. They struck a lot faster. They got the hacks a lot faster. And those are very important. Like striking first in these types of matches are pretty much the main thing on a win or a loss. This game can easily be a game of inches, not just towards the end, but immediately towards the beginning.
Indeed, and especially when it comes to controlling the center. So UCI has done a great job shutting down Fullerton whenever they decide to go in full attack. I'm going to have to say they need to take care of that Sombra. I know it sounds just redundant, but they need to take care of that Sombra if they want to advance any further onto the point.
Well, if they're going to do that, they need to strike first. Like, they're letting a kind of, from what we're seeing, I would say less it's them letting UCI strike first and more UCI is just taking the advantage to strike first.
And it looks like
But now this seems like they're getting a reverse.
Oh, and it looks like Fullerton's going to be on the upper hand right now, but CYY with the pick on Squid. Django taking care of that Widow. However, Junker Queen also taking care of Jazz for Fullerton. So I think Fullerton is doing a good job right now.
Yeah, Django just jumping right in. That was amazing, just coming in with that bravery, trust on the team to back him up. He was ready and raring to go with his pulse, ready with his shield, and now it just gives Fullerton immediate first strike. Like I said, first strike means a lot in this type of map, in this type of series. And we're actually getting our first Lifeweaver play here coming in from Otters on the UCI side, so we're going to definitely see how this turns out.
So that's a great save by the Sombra of the enemy team. Could have gotten booped off, but used their teleportation. And it looks like Sombra's going to EMP here. Oh my goodness, that looks like it got quite a good amount of people. The Kiriko is gone for Irvine.
It looks like it was, yeah. That's decent enough. It didn't really save much, so it looks like UCI still has kind of an attack advantage. Yeah, and it looks like they could be jumping in on this, but it was a decent EMP. It just didn't have great response time from the rest of the team, and it cost them a few lives.
So it looks like UCI is going to be taking the point, and they're at 5%. So Fullerton, they just got to keep continuing what they were doing earlier on and just push UCI off in order to maintain possession. And
well, now's the time to strike. Like, it's you're back, you lost the position, so now you got to basically find someone who's willing to take the hits. And it looks like the Winston from Django's doing that. But UCI did the smart move and went after Lucio first. Big Iron now down. Everybody else is about half health. So this is going to be kind of a struggle for them. And yeah, there we go. So both Squid and Jazz have fallen from that little scrap.
And again, UCI only has 2 players with their ults ready, and that would be the Junker Queen and Tracer. However, Sombra is just slightly behind by 20%. And
that Kiriko ult from Squid's coming up real quick, so this could be a huge moment for them to attack. If Winston can stay alive from Django, because he won't have his ult, this will be a huge moment for them to just kind of strike in, but they got to coordinate very, very well.
They really do, and it looks like Winston's going to be charging in, putting down his shield, and they're hacked EMP
that's
by
so bad.
Sombra.
Oh no! Oh, it got him discoordinated.
Oh my goodness, Irvine doing a great job on confusing Fullerton and just playing it right, and it looks like they're going to maintain more control for this team match.
Great defense. That was it was, I don't know if you saw, but both Sombras ulted around the same time, but Supreme's ult meant way more than Aquatus did. And that can mean a lot. And now it means the UCI gets to keep the position.
That's true, and we have the sound barrier activated by UCI's Lucio. That's going to be proved very effective right there. However, Fullerton just bashing them, trying to get the advantage here, but will be shut down by Otter and Supreme.
Oh, Squid!
UCI Esports wins this first match, best of 3 against Cal State University Fullerton.
And especially in dominating fashion like that. I was hoping to see Fullerton come back in that second part. They did get that first strike, but UCI coordinated very well with their ultimates. They did very well with the Sombra hacks. I cannot speak to you, especially for a Sombra-Kiriko combination, how much those ults can mean in an attack where you basically shut down the enemy team's damage and you enhance your own.
No, that's very true. One thing that I noticed too was the Sombra EMP played a crucial role, because not only when she hacks is that just one person, but the EMP is anyone around that radius, right? And I believe it was the first match, it got everyone on Fullerton, so it just cleanly
Supreme
wiped them out.
was a nuisance. Supreme, and I actually got to speak with him before the match, and he came in confident. And he's playing confident. Like, both of those matches were, he was just scary good. He was jumping in. He knew when to make his plays. He knew when to make his ults, and he knew how to throw down damage. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in with some of the highest damage of the match.
Definitely. Nice try on Fullerton, but I think they're gonna wake up. You know, it's early in the morning. I get it, right? So they're probably just gonna be like, "Hey, we need to wake up. We need a sip of coffee.
Might be thinking about lunchtime a little too soon. You know, it's going like. It's like maybe maybe we should bring in some Taco Bell real quick. I'm sure the coach is probably thinking that at the moment.
That is true. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way.
Oh yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gives Fullerton some inspiration to try to come back or just reorganize their team comp. Maybe they might want to try a May against Sombra. That's what I would do personally.
The slowdowns are going to be huge. I think the biggest thing you got to focus on with Sombra is, are you going to overprotect the team? So if you have some sort of support or tank that can make sure everybody's well shielded, Lucio obviously brings in huge to that. Does require really, really good timing. Or if you have someone who can slow her down or freeze her. Obviously for May, slowing down is the main composition there, but obviously if you have a good Ana from the sniper position, you can trap her in, as well as, even though she's not in the meta, Widowmaker can also be within that with her traps.
That is very true. For Widow, I feel like you have to be really quick with your flicks and spotting the Sombra, because she could instantly just teleport anywhere. It could literally be behind
So frustrating.
you.
So frustrating. It can be a tilter too. Like it's the reason why it's so helpful that both teams can have on it, but it also means that skill's a huge piece of it. And I know I just talked him up, but Supreme, he's the real deal. He's the guy who's coming in ready to play these DPS, very squishy but very high, fast, very fluid DPS champions.
Yes, the mobility is going to play a crucial part here. And it looks like my producer is telling me that we are ready for game 2 against
let's get it.
Irvine and Fullerton Blue.
Let's do it. All right.
So this is Numbani, and I'm very, very interested in this map. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite maps, just because there's so many corners you could play around, and you could pretty much dive on the enemy team that's trying to capture this point from the very beginning. So that's why I personally like it. Let's see some of the picks here. We have a Sombra again. We have a Tracer. We have a Brigida, Winston, and the Ana. And UCI Esports seems to have switched to a Mercy. There we go.
Yeah,
we have
still
a Mercy.
sitting in decision making, so decisions can still change at the last minute. But yeah, you were mentioning about attacking on the corners. Like, this is going to be huge. And yeah, it looks like we have finalized there on the Mercy. So pretty much the only legitimate support we have left on the comps.
Let's go.
We'll see how Sophrona takes in. Shows off her skills to protect her team.
And here we go with the second match against UCI and Fullerton Blue. Winston trying to get there as quickly as possible, but he is met by some very hefty firepower by UCI. Oh my goodness, the air advantage from UCI is actually going to be, oh my goodness. Okay.
So we're getting huge stands right for a second, so we're back on. So we did see like some air advantage there from the heaven side. For going to use some Valorant talk real quick. But yeah, getting the high ground is going to be huge in this map, and it looks like right now UCI is they're not stopping. They took every advantage they could to make sure they had great air support, great high ground.
Great job by Jazz on taking care of the Echo. Now I'm curious to see who Echo is going to try to replicate. Probably anyone that benefits them during their team fight and team comp. But I'm curious to ask UCI why they chose the Echo for the second round.
If she's smart, it would definitely be with the Winston. Winston is very classic character, but can take a lot of hits. Like he's very underrated in his tank play, and you already got some decent damage. You already got some healing there for Sophrona on the Mercy. So if anything, in my mindset, it's definitely hey, jump in on Supreme's character, make sure that you got a little more tank in the system.
And it looks like UCI working very hard to close and seal the deal on that last tick right there, but is going to be taken care of by the Brigida.
Yeah, Brigida, I've never been huge on the pick, but obviously can create an amazing rally behind her teammates. Has a great balance as both a tank and a support, but can be very misleading as being one side is more kind of like in between on both. So if you're a good player like Big Iron is, you can find that balance, then you can get a good lead there.
And then it looks like UCI is going to seal the deal and take over. Now, Fullerton's going to have to play some very, very strong defense over here. Irvine's just doing a great job. Just the communications there and the coordination as well. And that high air support from the Echo is just playing wonders for them.
Yeah, it's you can definitely see the communication is on point for these teams. You can see that Supreme is willing to take these hits, willing to stay ahead, while Psy and Otters are throwing down damage, keeping support going. And then Sophrona, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but like the Supreme has been helped out by Sophrona on frequent amounts. So he's not only getting healed a lot, he's also throwing down some bonus damage.
And that's going to be very important, especially since he's the tank. He's going to be clearing everything in front of him. And that's nice. Sorry, that's nice. That's really, really helpful and beneficial that they have such a
we
great
got an
chemistry. Oh, but he slept, but just kidding.
Is Django gonna get them? Django jumping in hard. He's ready to attack, but is it going to be enough? Romani and Otters are dead, so there's not much support coming in from the UCI side. And it looks like, all right, the ult is now back on cooldown, but Supreme's is up now, so we're going to see if they're going to counter to get the payload back. And it looks like both Winstons are going to switch onto the backside, their backline. Supreme did ult. It looks like he ended up getting squid on the end. It looks like Django is coming back in, trying to fight it. So now we got monkey versus monkey right here.
Taking some very, very high damage here. Echo nearly misses Fullerton's tank.
Yeah, Django getting out with like an inch of his life and actually ends up dying. So I caster cursed him. Sorry, Django. So we're going to see now as UCI hits back onto the checkpoint, they're going to push the payload out and could get it if Fullerton doesn't react soon or build within a necessary game plan. Like UCI is going to get it within the minute.
Yeah, and UCI doesn't even have to worry about the time because they have plenty of time to work with. So they're just casually just pushing it while Fullerton is struggling very, very hard to get it together and slowly push back this UCI offense.
Yeah, Fullerton's got to make a decision here because ults aren't going to be coordinated very well. You're going to have Brigitte and Anna's up, but then you don't have any strong front line. You don't have the
power-ups coming for Fullerton here. Let's see. And Django is going to be taking out their
taking
healer.
out the Mercy. That's so healer for healer is down. That's huge. So that means Winston's not going to have a huge amount of support. So we're going to see if they respond anyway. But unfortunately, now you see the front line for Fullerton has fallen.
UCI's DPS is just carrying this last piece right here. They're just trying. Oh, and there goes the Echo for UCI. Great job on Jazz trying to take control here of the situation.
It's going to take a huge hack here from Aquavis. Like, Aquavis does have the ult, it has full health. The rest of the team can distract, but it's going to take a huge, really important hack here. You can see he's getting position right there, trying to get to this back line. Yep, there goes the hack.
Oh, he got it, and Winston's jumping in. 2 kills
for
the
God.
Sombra. Oh, but the Sombra,
it's not enough.
No.
Oh, Romani survives, Supreme survives, and now the rest of the team's coming up, so they can just reset at this point. They have 2 minutes left. And that was a great attempt there by Aquavis. I love that hack. Unfortunately, just once again, not a lot of support you could do to close out the fights. With that Supreme still being alive, that's a huge tank right there.
It is,
that's
but
keeping the payload.
The ult there still was beneficial, and
Fullerton
Fullerton just ramming in there, trying to push them off the point, hoping to live another day. The sleep hits him. Oh my goodness. That sleep was just clean. He was just there.
Huge sleep there from Squid. Like if that didn't stop Supreme right there, that was going to be pretty much an immediate win there for UCI. Great ult one also by Django on his rage. This is kind of keeping everybody at bay, keeping everybody on levels, and we're going to see now. Like it's just going to be another reset from both teams. See who's going to take out the fights.
Cassidy barely makes it out there, but the healing on UCI's Otter is just nice. It's incredible how he's hitting those shots and hitting his team. But the mobility of each champion, if you look around the map right now, everyone's just jumping around, trying to find the angle that helps beat the other person's team.
And right now, in the case of Fullerton, they're in a good spot. Like, there's 60 seconds left. They'll probably be in overtime more than likely. But right now, UCI is kind of inching towards the end, so which is always the toughest part. And when you have less than a minute left, it can be a very stressful situation. So now we're going to see how these ultimates coordinate here. We do see Sai with the he's going to come in with the Cassidy ult. So if basically Fullerton positions poorly, that's going to be a lot of immediate kills.
And then Fullerton without an EMP.
Oh, here we go. Here's the High Noon.
High Noon gets one player, only Django.
But it was
that could be
Django. That's a huge deal. And UC said now, like, we're seeing the Rage come in. So it could be, yeah, there we go. Great coordination there by UCI. Great use of the ultimates. Just seemed like they were a lot more prepared to finish out towards that end.
Romani lucky on that last pick on the, I believe, Ana, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was Ana.
It was wild. Great coordination, great fight there towards the end from Fullerton. I love to see they're still putting in the fight despite the shaky start towards that payload. Now they're going to get their chance to be the attackers. So we're going to see. I'm very curious at what adjustments these teams are going to make.
My guess is Fullerton's going to try to find a DPS that would benefit them more on targeting the Sombra. I hope to see but no, it looks like they're going to be keeping the same comps.
Yeah, I don't think Aquavis, I think Aquavis sticking with the Sombra is the right move, and UCI honestly doesn't need one. They just need to make sure to prevent them from making any immediate movements, and that's just basically just holding strong. I like the Ana pick. I like the Ash pick. I like the Winston picks. Like, all these guys are pretty much here to say we're gonna hold strong and make sure you guys don't move.
I would caution Romani on being too high up in the air because of Sombra or Aquavis. So he could get up on those high grounds. He could literally teleport up onto the bridge and just hack UCI's Echo. So I would steer clear of Aquavis for this.
All the more reason just to play back.
Yeah.
Like, right now, you got a pretty strong line in there from the Duke and from the Ash and Winston. So we're going to see. And it looks like we're now, as we get into the fighting.
Jazz is already on point, trying to capture, trying to give UCI something to fight for. Both Winstons are trying to go for the high ground, but it looks like UCI's team is on the bridge. Try to go for that heal, but the heal is blocked by the shield. Sombra's escaping.
Oh, that
it's
was
just
huge. You see the wall stood strong. Like, the fact is UCI was just a little more coordinated. You saw Django ready to jump in with that Winston, but then just immediately got DPS by everybody. Like, everybody was ready to attack him, and then the rest of the team fell out like dominoes.
Definitely. Romani has been putting up the numbers on here. So has CY1.
I want to see how this DPS comes in from Fullerton. I like the comp, but they got to be ready to coordinate together so that DPS can attack strong.
And it looks like Winston's going to be jumping into some fire. However, his healer is there to support him. Great job on Django, trying to take some damage on the healers. Jazz going in deep, trying to get that pick, but does not. Teleports back onto the point.
All right, they got the first check. They're going to get the second check. All right, so you guys got to react.
Nice sleep by the Fullerton.
Well, they got to jump back in, or else they're never going to get this payload. Like, right now, they're sitting on 2 checkpoints, and they're just kind of letting Supreme sit there on the point. And now they're going to be reversed back in, and Jazz is out. But a good response there to get Romani and Otters.
And Safrona had her ult, excuse me. And again, great defense by UCI Esports.
Yeah, great defense, great response. It was an amazing push there by Fullerton. I love the fact that Django was still being the aggressor in this whole thing, while we saw Big Iron and Squid back him up, and then we just kind of let Aquavis and Jazz on the Sombra and on the Sombra to get more DPS out there. But unfortunately, the UCI just responded fast. You saw Supreme jump right back on the point to stop them from getting that payload. And that's kind of the whole point here. Fullerton needs to make sure they attack this point. They need to make sure they move this payload. Or else it's going to be another easy UCI win.
UCI without their healer Saprona. But it looks like they're going to be having another Winston available.
Oh, Tracer's down.
Oh my goodness, he gets the ult last minute and trying to push away that remains of Fullerton. And, excuse me. And it looks like Irvine is holding up a very strong front, making it difficult for Fullerton to push through. Supreme and Romani just dominating against this Fullerton blue team.
Yeah, you can see Jazz on the Tracer trying to get some sort of attack, but just it was immediately responded to. I love the pacing, I love the speed, but it's just the response time from UCI has just been magnificent.
Yes, and they have about 30 seconds left to make one final attempt for one more final tick. If they make this tick, they will get extra time. But even then, this is difficult. This Irvine team has a really strong front, and they are, great ultimate by Jazz! Fullerton putting it in the last couple of yards they've got.
Oh my god, that was such a great ult. Let's see if it's enough.
It's enough for the final tick. Oh,
good stop there.
Great job. Now that remains is the Winston.
Supreme is holding strong right now. We got Supreme inside just trying to hold on.
Fullerton
but they got the payload.
2.5 minutes they've got to get it to the other side. Will that be enough time though? Maybe. Fullerton seems energetic after that one crucial Jazz ult.
Yeah, good recovery there by Fullerton. I love the fact that we saw that ult there from Jazz. Amazing Tracer ult there. I love it when you get it onto multiple players like that when they're just not paying attention. So great focus there, great sacrifice. I know he died towards the end, but it meant a lot. It meant they got the payload, and now they get a second win.
It is, and I like. Oh, and there goes the Winston. There goes Supreme of UCI Esports. Winston getting slept by their support, Otter.
Yeah. It looks like Squid's still trying to play into the sniper mode, which is maybe is the right move. You just kind of let Django and Big Iron push the payload themselves. But right now, if they play it a little too calm, it's going to basically keep this lead on UCI, and UCI is going to push forward. So they got to be ready to attack at some point.
They need to keep the time in mind. That they have very little time to get to such a long checkpoint. And they need to stick together. As you can see, we have the ult here activated by Fullerton.
Supreme just being so annoying right now, like to the point Big Iron even had to use his ult just in response to keep his teammates alive. And then eventually, as you can see, it didn't mean a lot.
Nope.
So Supreme just being so frustrating right now. First started out with the Sombra, and now with the Winston. Man's a man of many masks.
Oh my goodness, just the amount of space here for his team is just incredible. Oh my goodness, solo ulted right there by UCI.
This is going to be kind of interesting because you're seeing two different strategies from both games. Obviously for UCI, who are very proactive, they're always pushing forward. While Fullerton, it seems like they're trying to coordinate their abilities better to create one big, huge attack and then one official push. And unfortunately, because of the proactivity of UCI, there was another ult. Ana's ult's down now, and so is Jazzy's for the Tracer.
Nicely by Squid there. But there's very little time remaining, and Fullerton players are still trying to come out of their spawn. I don't think they have enough time, but they're trying to make one final push.
It's going to be an overtime. Okay, so this is the chance. This is the chance, guys. Great ult there by Django to push people away, so this may be the chance to push people forward.
Targeting.
Oh, but now Supreme used his, so is it going to be enough? All right, so they pushed him off. Great job by Fullerton.
So now they have a little bit of more breathing room for one more team fight just before.
All right, so Saprona using the Brigitte ult, trying to rally her teammates. And it's still sitting in overtime. So right now Django's dead. Aquavis is dead. Big Iron's dead. Are Jazz and Squid going to be enough? Squid's dead. Jazz is dead.
Oh, no!
Right towards the end. Such a great fight, but UCI, what a push towards the end there. Amazing stuff by Safrona, switching to the Brigitte, rallying the team, keeping the team healed up so they could go hit the go button and push.
Man, was that... Oh my goodness. UCI just held very,
you can see it. Look
strong.
at that. Look at that echo. Look at that DPS. You can just see the amount of impact that UCI is putting on just hitting that go button. They want to go, 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 go. They do not care who you are, how skilled you are. They just only see green lights.
And they're going to attack at every opportunity they see. And they're just such a great team that UCI, just their coordination, oh my goodness.
I do want to give a lot of props to Fullerton, though. They are responding very, very well. Like, despite these first matches that aren't going their way and are becoming a little one-sided, they are trying to respond in some way, shape, or form that fits within their strategy. It's just unfortunate right now because UCI is playing with such heavy proactivity that they can't coordinate onto their ideal strategy. You can see they're ready to get these ults ready. They're ready to get these abilities ready. They want the rest of their team to be focused, and you can see the fact is Django and Big Iron, they want to be that front line so the rest of the team can operate at optimal levels. But once again, UCI just being proactive, being that speedy team that just takes you out. You could see Supreme switch from a major DPS character like Sombra, who's so frustrating in the speed and the activity, to a Winston who is a lot slower, but they just struggled to kill him. He was all over the place. You saw him take on 3 members to the point that it cost an ultimate and a bunch of other abilities just to get him down to half health and to move back away towards from the payload.
And that takes its toll in game as well. You know, if you're down in ult and you're trying to push for that team fight, that ult might have just changed things around. But then here comes this big giant Winston in your way. You're trying to do something about it.
Yeah, Gorilla's already scary enough. Like a very hyper intelligent gorilla with armor and a shot cannon. You know what? Nah, I'm good. I'll just stay home. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know, but you never know. I've never had a pet gorilla. Well, just kidding. I'm lying. I do. She's still
that we
lives with
know
me at
of.
home.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, like we'll keep it hush hush. It's like it's only us and whoever's watching gonna be watching the broadcast.
There we go.
But what a great match. We still got a little bit more coming in, so it's gonna be. I want to see what Fullerton has in stock. Are they gonna stick with the same old that they have right now, where they have the two tank, the support, and then the DPS?
And it looks like they're gonna be. I think they're gonna switch it up a little, at least for Fullerton's side for sure, because they already know, you know, what sorry. And it looks like we are gonna be going to a quick break.
We're just taking a quick moment just to coordinate everything, make sure everybody is set and ready to go. I do hope to see Fullerton pick things back up. We do still have their other team, their blue team.
Okay.
Or sorry, my apologies, it's their orange team. We just saw their blue team.
There we go.
So I want to see also kind of some differences between these two. One of the great things about having teams like this, especially when they're going against the other teams, so IVC and UCI, is how they are going to coordinate and act as their own within their own strategies, and then eventually when they play against each other, I'd love to see how they coordinate together as far as hopefully building a little bit of a rivalry of seeing who's the better, because obviously one's coming in as the varsity and one's coming in as the JV, so I'm sure JV's coming in with a little bit of fire in their body.
They do. They have, or they would want to prove a point, you know, but we're keeping it just chill, fun and games, you know. Camaraderie is a big thing here at IVC, so just fun and games.
Yeah, and speaking of IVC, I am very much looking forward to seeing what they have to bring. This is the first time now they got to be in a LAN situation back at home, so now, so right now we're just going to. So right now we're going to be checking in to see how they're going to do, and I hope IVC checks in and make sure they're ready to face off against Fullerton Orange, because it's going to be a fun little matchup.
It is. And my producer just told me that we are going to be going on a quick break. So I just want to say thank you guys for being with us in this first half. And we'll be right back against Irvine Valley College versus Fullerton in the next
Fullerton
one.
Orange. Here we go, baby. Let's go.
And welcome to the Community Spring Showdown here at IVC. I am Nerds Corner, the host and the interviewer here today. And I am with the lovely UCI guest that we have. What is your name?
My name or tag is Romani.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Community Spring Showdown here at IVC. I am Nerds Corner, the host, the interviewer, here today with one of our guests, the UCI tank player, who ended up switching to DPS, so we'll be getting into that. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Last match was a really good one, I will say.
And just for the crowd to reiterate, what was your name and gamer tag?
Romani.
So the first matchup you guys played against each other on Ilios, how did you feel after that, especially because you were, I'm assuming, on tank in that role?
That's correct. I was playing tank for the first match. It felt pretty good. We were playing against more of a dive composition, and our strategy was to form a more counter dive composition, and it worked pretty well for us.
Hey, well, I guess it works out. And then on game two, I managed to catch the majority of game two, and just a little bit stunned for words. You got to 2 points. You managed to push out against them and just completely block off any attack when you flipped sides. How do you feel about that performance?
I felt pretty good about that performance. I mean, I was playing DPS, but I was playing a DPS character that I was familiar with. Echo provides a lot of pressure onto the enemy team and makes them nervous to really dive into our backline, which is why I played the character. And I will say that we had some pretty great moments coming back to point and stalling and making it so they couldn't get it.
So with this early victory 2-0, are you confident for the rest of the bracket, for the rest of the tournament, and what is your strategy going forward? It's a two-part question there.
So for the rest of the tournament, I am very confident in our ability to come and take the dub.
Oh?
I definitely think we are a standout college at this tournament. Our strategy for the rest of the tournament is most likely going to be just countering any composition that is thrown at us.
Oh.
We're all very, very adept at the roles that we play, and we can easily swap to what needs to be done to counter any opposition that we have.
Ooh, the confidence exuded. So before we head on off, do you have anything to shout out, whether it's your teammates, whether it's your college, or whether it's yourself?
Shout out to all of my teammates that showed up today, and shout out to the substitute players that were able to make time for the matches today. It wouldn't have been possible without them. We might not have even been able to sign up for the tournaments. So thank you, all of you guys.
Well, that's lovely to hear from our guests, and we're going to be taking a short break before the next match, getting things set up for you guys and ready. So we'll be seeing you guys there in just a little bit. Cheers.